Zero. That's basically the amount of goals that Manchester United substitute has been able to score in the Premier League this season, and it is a very disastrous start for a club like Manchester United. And this start did not just start this season, just that it got only worse this season. And you're going to find out that Manchester United has struggled a lot when you tend to, make substitutions, because basically, if we really have to be honest, we have to find out that Manchester United substitutes are really not quality. We don't have a lot of quality depth, and this has really affected Manchester United over the course of the season. And you could see against Nottingham Forest and against Tottenham Hotspur, when Manchester United made substitutions, that was when we lost the grip of the game, because these players that we are bringing on are not match fit enough, and they are not really quality enough to be able to impact games and give Ruben Amorim a wide range of tactical instructions to give in games. And you're also going to find out that most of the times, even when Manchester United had depth at the beginning of the season, you can see that Ruben Amorim was failing to make attacking substitutions or midfield substitutions. He was failing to bring on the right substitutions in games. Instead, he opted for defenders, and you could see that there was some points during this season that Ruben Amorim was constantly intentionally waiting to bring in Harry Maguire in games, and it was so confusing why he was doing that, because he was depending on Harry Maguire to score late goals and to try to inject energy into the squad of Manchester United. Because I feel, as a coach, when you're chasing game and when you want to try to get points, I feel that you really have to rely on your coaching expertise, or try to change formation and try to put players in a more advanced zone, so that they can be able to affect tired defenders and try to give you some tactical variations during games. But Ruben Amorim has really failed to do that so far, and either he resorts to playing Harry Maguire during later portions of the games, or he's going to make other defensive substitutions, which has really hampered the way that Manchester United wants to effect the game. Because in the Premier League, that actually requires a lot of intensity for almost 90 minutes of the games. If you're playing with a particular set of attackers throughout the games without making some sort of substitutions, it is really not going to help, because most of the times in game, Manchester United has started with Sheshko, Koha and Brian Mbeumo, and they ended that game. They played the whole 90 minutes. You can't really survive like that as a coach in the Premier League. You should be able to put some sort of attackers and also put some sort of midfielders. And you're also going to find out that most of the times you could not also blame Amorim for making defensive substitutions, because majority of times in the game, Harry Maguire has gotten injured. Most of the times we had injuries in the defensive department. Most of the times these players get scattered because they actually operate in a very high zone. As you know, our defenders like to push high and try to be aggressive on the ball. So in the course of being aggressive with the ball, of course they can be carried, and so that might force Ruben Amorim to also make changes. And most of the times, some of our defenders have really bad games. So of course you're going to result into changing defenders and bringing another defender. So that is how the situation of Manchester United has been in terms of substitution, and this has really stopped the way Manchester United has effected game in the second half of play. And you're going to find out that whenever your substitutions don't score goals, whenever your substitutions don't inject energy, or whenever your substitutions don't provide tactical solutions and try to effect or try to harm tired defenders, you're going to find out that your whole second half strategy is going to be crippled. So another reason why the substitutions of Manchester United has been very ineffective is because Ruben Amorim has actually failed to consistently rotate the squad, because we're going to find out that majority of the players in the bench of Manchester United, they have not really had consistent minutes over the course of the season. And when players lack match reading, they are going to lack composure in front of goal, and they are going to lack composure in their overall play. So that has really affected players in Manchester United, particularly Menu and Zexi. These are players that over the course of the season they have not been given consistent minutes, and this has really hampered the way they have played for Manchester United, because whenever they play with a lot of fear. They don't have much fitness as the other players in the team. So this has really, and you could see that if you want to grade the squad of Manchester United, you could see that in the defensive position there has been a lot of rotations in defensive position, because a lot of players can come in and go in. But in the midfield position, and particularly in the attack position, Manchester United has not really rotated a lot, and this has really affected the quality in the bench, because even when they come on, they cannot be able to provide the wide range of solutions for Manchester United, and so it makes it very hard for Manchester United to effect game. And just for context, you're going to find out that Manchester United scored 5 goals from substitutions last season, while clubs like Fulham and Brighton scored 17 and 15 goals respectively for substitution. That actually tells you that the problem of substitute scoring goals for Manchester United did not just start this season. It actually started last season, but this season is beginning to get worse, because the quality in the bench of Manchester United is beginning to deteriorate even more further. Because you could see that over the last 2-3 seasons, Manchester United had more quality on the bench compared to this season. You're going to find out that we have shallow quality on the bench, and this has really affected Manchester United. And another reason why Manchester United substitutes are failed to effectively, win games for us is because of tactical instructions. You're going to find out that most of the times when Manchester United or Ruben Amorim make substitutions, these substitutions are overly coached. They are, very cautious during games, and they are actually being told to actually sit deep or to be narrow or not simply maintain formation shape or try to join the back line, because Manchester United defend in the 5-3-2 shape. So defending in the 5-3-2 shape is not going to give the team an upper hand to be able to play very well or to play very attacking wise. And even when these players are being brought on, they are going to be found in a more very deeper position. So it is going to be hard for them to actually occupy the advanced position that can help them to score goals or to impact games for Manchester United. So how can Manchester United actually solve this substitution problem? I actually feel that number one has to be Manchester United trying to rotate more frequently. I think Ruben Amorim needs to give fringe players a lot of times to showcase themselves. And I know that especially in the midfield position, Manchester United cannot really rotate a lot because they lack quality there. You could see majority of the time that Manchester United have brought in Manuel Ugarte in games, you have actually lost games, and majority of the times where you have seen he has not really looked that good, probably because he doesn't have the trust of the manager. So I think the midfield position is one position that we can't really afford to rotate a lot. But I think in terms of attack, I think we should have seen a lot more players giving some minutes, especially Zexi and now Shiresi. We should seeing these players have some minutes in the team. And I think if these players are being given the leverage to play at least 20 to 30 minutes in some games, it is really going to help their match fitness, and it's really going to affect the way we try to affect game for Manchester United. And secondly, Ruben Amorim needs to be more brave when he gives tactical instruction when players come on, because I think in some games you're going to find that, particularly in the Tottenham Hotspur game, Manchester United at some point, even when we are leading 1-0, we went too deep. I think we should be more brave. I think Ruben Amorim should be able to change from his 3-4-3 formation or a 5-3-2 formation whenever Manchester United are trying to chase games, because you cannot be trying to chase games, you cannot be trying to attack, meanwhile you're instructing the players to be deep or maintain formation shape. I think when it comes to substitutions or when it comes to tactical instructions, I think Ruben Amorim should be more brief. He should be able to tweak things, he should be able to change formations whenever we are chasing games, which is going to enable these players to be in more attacking position and to be able to create more attacking triggers in games. So guys, to give me your thoughts on the comment section about what you feel the lack of impact saw for Manchester United. I want you guys to like, to share, to subscribe to Tactical Trafford. I'll also be making more videos of Manchester United. So see you guys in my next video.